Welcome to part 2. So a Chinese monk was making a long journey from China along the Silk Road into India. The monk was walking down a dirty road and he came across this guy was dancing in the street and he was having a good time, enjoying himself. He was dancing and singing, didn't care about anything that was going on around him. And as he walked by the gentleman said, "Lao Shi, teacher, where are you going?" And the monk replied, "I'm going to see the Buddha." "Well, would you ask the Buddha a question for me?" And the monk replied, "Well, I suppose so." "When you see the Buddha, ask the Buddha, when will I achieve enlightenment?" "Okay," the monk replied. Traveled on, days went by, and he was passing through a little village, and there was a man sitting in lotus position in the dirt. He was dirty because all the people traveling up and down the road had kicked up all the dust. He was covered in dirt. He was sitting there meditating, and when the monk walked by him, "Lao Shi. Yeah? Where are you going?" "Well, I have court with the Buddha." "Well, when you see the Buddha, would you do me a favor? And would you ask him when I'm going to achieve enlightenment?" "Okay," the monk replied. The monk went and saw the Buddha. The details of his visit with the Buddha aren't important, but he asked the questions. And on the journey back, he passed by the man sitting in the dirt in the village. Lao Shi, did you see the Buddha?" "Yeah, I saw the Buddha." What did the Buddha say? When am I going to achieve enlightenment?" "The Buddha says you'll achieve enlightenment in 5 lifetimes. No, I can't. Oh, no. And 5 lifetimes, I can't do this anymore. He's miserable. So the monk goes on. And he comes across the man dancing in the street. He's still out there dancing. He's even in the same clothes. He's dancing and singing. He's having a great time. He's eating the fruit off the trees and just loving life. "Lao Shi, did you see the Buddha?" And the monk replies, "Yes, I saw the Buddha." "Well, what did the Buddha say? When will I achieve enlightenment?" And the monk replied, 200 lifetimes. And the dancing man says, "Is that all?" And at that moment, he achieved enlightenment.
Bam Theater.
This storm lasted for 18 minutes, and then leaped forward from us as suddenly as it had come. Some of our camels were good, and they went their fastest when pitted against one another. Fired by this, we did a straight march of 8 hours, unusually long for these Hejah Bedouin. We left on the morning of April the 10th after pleasant farewells from Abdullah. In detail, I criticized the ruling scheme. The local poets found him a profitable audience. He was very fond of Arabic verses and exceptionally well read. This storm lasted for 18 minutes, and then leaped forward from us as suddenly as it had come. Faisal introduced us one by one, and Auda, with a measured word, seemed to register each person. The valley began to run in plashes of water, and Dakil Allah urged us to cross it quickly. Neither my general reasoning, however, nor my particular objections had much weight. Their tempers were roughened each time by our fit of mirth. A tiresome old fool I found him, as my illness left me less even than usual in a jesting mood. His sharp, decided, but pleasant voice frayed out if he shouted. His face was magnificent in its lines and hollows. He had large, eloquent eyes, like black velvet in richness. We had brought no food, so stopped at some tents for hospitality of their rice and millet. After drinks, we bathed in it, and found it full of little silver fish like sardines, all ravenous. The road was bad, and one lad canted his animal into a heap of stones. Their tempers were roughened each time by our fit of mirth. We were richer than the Turks in transport, machine guns, cars, high explosive. The valley began to run in plashes of water, and Dakil Allah urged us across it quickly. The storm lasted for 18 minutes, then leaped forward from us as suddenly as it had come. His hospitality was sweeping, and except to very hungry souls, rather inconvenient. He waved the rest of the camp on to the large supply. They stabbed him with thorns, stoned him, dropped sun-heated pebbles down his back, and set him afire. The storm lasted for 18 minutes, and then leaped forward from us as suddenly as it had come. In the morning, we pushed on to Kauthila, a well where we watered the camels. Of the number of dead Turks he could give no account. They did not enter the register.
Salvador is down at the track for his auto racing report. Thank you, Salvador. Now, here's something from the archives.
It's on and off. It's on. It was recording. It's... Okay. Well, I try, Lord, I try to find my way back to you. Lord, I try and I try to find my way back to you. But the way you've been acting, well, I'm a mess over you. Well, I try, Lord, I try
here's a scene from next month's episode.
You know what? I'm so over this stupid shit, I will contribute nothing else.
Are your feelings hurt?
My feelings aren't hurt. I'm just disappointed with you.
I don't even know what that means.
Good God, Distant told me this would happen. It's your show and you need to treat it as such. I would appreciate it if you'd take my name off the affiliates page.
Are you serious? I think you're seriously pissed, and that ain't good.
I am pissed, and I'm not going to be part of this project. It's that simple. I don't want to get involved with you or Pat on this anymore.
So tell me about this disappointment.
I want to call you so many names, but what's the fucking point? You sound like a 16-year-old girl breaking up with her boyfriend, and I ought to know what that sounds like. I'm out!
Fine.
All that and more next month on LoatheCast.
Hey, this is Leo. Thanks for tuning in.
Visit us online at www.loathemegacorp.com. If you can't spell it, you can't visit. Goodbye.
This
has
been
a production.